Hey Gemini, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name is Erica. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad that you found me. This is your June full moon oracle card reading, June 2017. Happy birthday. How are y'all? I hope that your birthday month is treating you well. We are going to talk about the full moon today, so let's get to it. On the 8th or 9th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet, we've got a full moon that will be playing out in Sagittarius, playing nicely with Saturn. Saturn is a planet that represents limitation, structure, containment. I think of Saturn as the building code inspector. We have 12 houses on our astrological wheel, and Saturn goes through each one of those houses every 2.5 years. He spends an extended stay in each sign and make sure that that house is strong and built to code. And if it's not, you're going to have to rebuild it. It's just the way that Saturn does it. But it's not without any sort of reward. The strength of that house will support you throughout the rest of your life. So it's important to be done, even though the work can be difficult. Another thing that's going on is Jupiter, the planet of increase, expansion, and excess, kind of like a hot air balloon. It's the gas giant in our solar system. It's the biggest planet that we know of right now. The full moon's going to be playing out in your 7th house, and Jupiter's going direct in your 5th house. So let's break that down a little bit. The 7th house is traditionally ruled by Libra. So your partnerships, relationships, and how you identify who you are as an individual through those interactions with other people going to be important to you under this full moon light. It may be that there are issues dealing with structures or boundaries needing to be addressed in your partnerships and relationship areas. And this the house placements are based on Gemini rising. It may apply for some Gemini suns and maybe some moons, but the house placements in this reading for Gemini rising. Jupiter direct in the 5th house. Jupiter being like a hot air balloon. Wherever it goes, it makes that energy bigger. So if it's good energy, probably more good things. If it's not so good, probably not so good things. That's just the way that it is. 5th house, traditionally ruled by Leo. It's the house of sparks. It's the spark of love, the spark of life, the spark of creation. It's where we go to blow off steam with our friends. It's where we have our social circle. It's where we go seek pleasure. It is the artist or the crafter or the craftsman's masterpiece. It's where they create that, where they're inspired and create that. It's where you fall in love, and it's where you make your babies. The babies are born in the 8th house, but you got to fall in love to make them in the 5th. Alright, so this full moon is going to be at almost 19 degrees of Sagittarius, and the Sabian symbol that reads for that is pelicans menaced by the behavior of men seek safer areas to bring up their young. Sabian symbols were created in 1925 by a clairvoyant named Elsie Wheeler, and they're used to symbolize 0 to 30 degrees of each zodiac sign on the astrological wheel. One last thing of note, this full moon is also known as the strawberry full moon, Gemini, and because I know you like information, I try my best to empower you with it as much as I can. My natal Venus is in Gemini, so I do a lot of talking, I love conversation, and I love debate. That's why I debate in college. It's what pays for school. I am shuffling for you right now from the Illuminated Tarot deck. This is a new deck to me. It is by Caitlin Keegan, and she has reduced the major arcana down into the minor arcana, and this is actually a deck that you can use as playing cards, but I have written on it and kind of made it my own, and I intend on using it for my readings, probably for these full moon readings. Just because I like the pictures in this as well. It's a little different from the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. I will be bringing forth those messages from like what the representation of the Rider-Waite also indicates with the card that comes forth for you. Let me cut the deck for you, Gemini. There's your card from the Illuminated Tarot deck. Now we're going to pull from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. This deck is by Elena Fairchild, and the artwork is by Autumn Sky Morrison. Pardon my cough, y'all. Mars is in Gemini right now, and Gemini rules the lungs, and I've been coughing aggressively a lot. Not really sick, just allergies, sinus drainage, that sort of stuff, but I can't help it. And thank you for being gracious with me when I do have to cough. Okay, let me cut this beautiful deck for you, Gemini. There is your Sacred Rebels Oracle card. And finally, from the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck, I have a surprise that I will be announcing in a separate video after I get finished shooting my last 4 videos today. I tried to get all of my videos done yesterday and I just wasn't able to do it. I apologize, Gemini. These videos were, what I did to calculate the release order is I went through and looked at last month's totals, view totals, and did it from the highest to the lowest, so I'm sorry. I just want to let you know what's going on and why it is the way that it is. Okay, y'all. Let me cut this Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck for you. There's your card. Alright, y'all, what I'm going to do now is hit the pause button, flip these cards over, and meditate over them, but also look at the astrological notes that I have in front of me and try to bring you the best information that I can. Hang tight, y'all. I'll be right back. Hey, Gemini, I'm back with your cards. I'm fixing to take a sip before I start coughing again, and then we'll get to it. My bad, y'all. Alright. The first card from the Illuminated Tarot deck is the Ace of Diamonds. And the Ace of Diamonds is reflective or representative of the Ace of Cups in the Rider-Waite Tarot. Let's talk about this card first, and then we'll go to the Rider-Waite expression. Ace is a beginning, potential, initiation. The diamonds being cups, that's water signs. That can be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. It can also speak to emotions and those things that make you feel emotionally whole or validated, the things that fill you up emotionally and sustain you. It's those things that can break you. It's those things that can make you cry instantaneously. Those things that fill you up are also the things that can tear you down quite quickly if coming at you from a negative perspective. Okay. This card is the World card. Like I said, Caitlin Keegan reduced the Major Arcana into the Minor Arcana, and I really like the way that she did this. This card deals with peace, travel, and open-mindedness. Now, in the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, the World, let's go from the Ace of Cups to the World card. Okay. Ace of Cups deals with potential. It also indicates compassion and intimacy. Now, the World card in the Major Arcana is representative of the planet Saturn, and I spoke about that earlier talking about the full moon, limitation, structure, containment, the building code inspector. You've got Saturn in the 7th house dealing with your friends, groups, your partnerships and relationships. I won't say friends and groups. Your partnerships and your relationships. Those people that you deal with on a regular basis. How you identify with those people. How you interact with those people. And what it makes you think about yourself through those interactions with those other people. It's also the house of open enemies and counseling. The World card represents structure. I think that there's a few Geminis out there, probably, I love all of the zodiac signs, but Gemini, y'all are difficult because there are two sides of you. Sometimes it feels like you're waking up in a new world every day. I would say about half of you, half of my viewers, are dealing with issues in friendship and your relationships and those social circle areas. It could be that you are lacking boundaries, or there is a water sign that is lacking boundaries, and you are, either you're overstepping it or they're overstepping your boundaries. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're probably overstepping your boundaries, just because you have so much astrological, and now this card bringing up the synchronicity. I feel like there is, for a very good portion of some of my Gemini viewers, that the issue is in your partnerships and your relationships. It's like you can't stay in your own lane, or someone else can't stay in their own lane. I also see this possibly being where there are frenemies exposed for some of you under this full moon. Because Jupiter is going direct in the 5th house as well, and that's the house of your social circle and your friends. So I'm trying to speak to all of the energy that will be at play about this. It could feel like the world is going for you or against you. Once again, just depending on what you've done, how you've acted, and if you've come from a lower vibration or a higher vibration. And we all make those decisions, and there's no judgment coming from me. I've lived on the low vibration side of things, and I'm trying my best to live on the high vibration side of things now. And that's actually bringing some judgment my way. But that's what happens, right? That's what happens. So, from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, I pulled for you the number 11 card, dealing with diving for light. Okay, and the 11, you have Uranus, the planet of shocks and surprises, changes and liberation, going through your 11th house of the internet, friends, groups, memberships, teams, associations that you belong to. It could be that there is some sort of situation where, because when I also see the World card, I think of the internet, especially in the Rider-Waite Tarot, because of the way the symbology looks. It's got the animals on each of the corner, ideas from 4 corners of the globe. It really feels like there's going to be a situation or something highlighted through the internet, or something to that effect, or in your friends, groups, memberships, teams, and associations that you may belong to, where there's some light being shed somewhere. And it feels like some of you are either going to be exposed as a frenemy, or you're going to be exposing a frenemy. And a frenemy is not someone that you need in your midst. And a frenemy is also someone that I would consider just a toxic relationship. And toxic relationships can be one-sided friendships. They can be one-sided relationships. If you're putting more in than you're getting out, then you need to check yourself. But if somebody else is putting more into you than you're putting out or giving back to them, then you need to check yourself too. I love you enough to tell you the truth about yourself, even if you don't like it, Gemini. This card speaks of a time when you were called into a darkness of some sort through a life circumstance, a situation, or some sort of relationship or friendship challenges, or even your own inner turmoil, your inner struggles as well. And going through this stuff could defy a clear understanding. You may not understand why the hell you're going through what you're going through. You may not have even chosen to be put in this situation. You may have to endure it because of someone else. But let me remind you, Gemini, you are still here, you are still loved, and you are still learning, so don't give up. There may be no justification for why you find yourself in this darkness or this spiritual test right now. It can feel like dark night of the soul sometimes. Understand that you are powerful and vulnerable at the same time right now. It takes a lot of power and a lot of courage to dive to the depths of the ocean. It's a scary place. It's dark. There's a lot of pressure. It's not comfortable. It's easier to stay up towards the light. But it takes courage to go down there. While you're down there, you're vulnerable. One crack, one wrong move, anything could happen. That's that dichotomy of powerful yet vulnerable at the same time. Running in and out of a house fire like I did. Powerful yet vulnerable at the very same time. Diving for light. This card indicates that you are or have experienced or will soon experience a spiritual trial, lesson, or crisis to bring you out of the darkness you find yourself in. It may be that it gets darker before. What is it that they say? It's always darkest before dawn. It may get darker before dawn, but understand that dawn is coming. This situation that you find yourself in is to bring you out of that darkness and into the light of love and understanding and learning. I also want you to look up the seahorse symbology. One of the very first things that I think of when I think of seahorses is actually gender role reversal, which is kind of interesting for my Geminis out there, because you can identify with so many different people. You see yourself in so many different situations. You can feel that. The male seahorse is the one who deals with the children and deals with the burden of birth, not the females. It may be that you need a different perspective in that world. Maybe you need to look at your partner through a different set of eyes. Finally, from the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck, I pulled for you the Moss Agate card, which deals with stability, persistence, and grounding. It can help heal and amplify the heart and root chakra vibrations. It reads, Moss Agate is the stone of nature's peace and abundance. It reminds you that there is always a silver lining to each cloud. Holy guacamole, y'all. You have pulled this card as a reminder to be resilient in the pursuit of your higher purpose and to embrace the grounding, the calm, and stable energy of Mother Earth along the way. So meditate with Moss Agate to balance mood swings, to instill patience, and to build a better determination to handle life's challenges. Well, Gemini, I hope you enjoyed it, because that's what I've got for you. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart. I hope June brings you a lot of wonderful blessings. And no matter what it is that the full moon is highlighting for you, please learn those lessons, because if you don't, they'll come back to visit you again. Full moons are where we're feeling a little emotional, a little vulnerable, and it looks like you're going to be feeling very vulnerable in the area of your friends, groups, social life, social situations. Some of you, it may be your relationship with your partner. Some of you, it may be your best friends or your best circle of friends. Or it may just be a situation or a circumstance. It really depends on what's going on in your personal chart, Gemini. So, with that, I'm sending you a lot of love. I do hope you're well. Please take care of yourself. Please be kind to yourself. And please save some of that kindness for others, because we're all going through private battles in our world that some of us may never speak about to another living soul. I'll see you soon, Gemini. Again, happy birthday. Take care. Namaste, and I love you. Bye, Gemini.